It is so cold.
We'll call the meeting to order. First of all, roll call, Ms. Hidalgo, Mr. Lejeune, and Ms. Mason.
Here.
All right. Moving on to the agenda, 2.1, a selection of Board Insurance Committee Chairperson. We will make a motion and also open up the nominations for chairperson.
Mr. Superintendent, I'd like to nominate Jeremy O'Donnell for chair.
Okay. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second.
All right. We have a motion. We have a second. Mr. Hidalgo, you're the new chairperson. Congratulations. I'll turn the gavel over to you.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. All right, item 2.2, health insurance overview. Slava?
Mr. Hidalgo, let me make sure that we have a motion, we have a second, but let's go ahead and just vote. Mr. Lejeune? Yea or nay?
Yeah.
Ms. Mason?
Yay.
All right, and yea. All right, we have a motion, all carry out, thank you.
Good afternoon, board members, superintendent Touchette. Thank you so much. My name is Trish LaBeouf. I am the Director of Insurance and Benefits. I've been asked to provide a brief overview of your insurance and benefits offered to the active and retired members of the district. I have provided packets for each of you for reference throughout this conversation. If you have any questions along the way, please let me know. The department services roughly 4,400 active employees and 3,300 retirees. When we are fully staffed, the department has a total of 7 staff members in the department. We manage the benefits offered to the active and retired members of the district, and we assist with customer service calls and concerns with regard to any benefit offered by LPSS. In order to be eligible for benefits for LPSS, our full-time employees must work a total of 30 hours within a given work week. Our retired members, in order to keep their benefits post-retirement, they just need to have it on the last payroll of their pay stub prior to retirement. There are a few benefits that are excluded from eligibility and continuation, which is short and long-term disability, flexible spending, and HSAs. I'd like to just deep dive a little bit into the benefit offered through LPSS and start off with your group health insurance. There are 3 plan types with the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. We have the basic, the enhanced, and the high deductible. There are roughly 5,500 members covered collectively between active and retired members. A majority of our members are listed under the basic plan. The second is the high deductible. The enhanced is the third. The district pays roughly 69% of those benefit costs. The employee picks up the other roughly 31% of the premium. I'll spell out the different premium amounts for each plan type. We have the basic employee only at $165. Employee plus 1 under that same plan is $451. Our family rate for two or more is $670. The enhanced plan, employee plus 1 is $231. Employee plus 2 is $544, and the family rate 2 or more is $795. High deductible, employee only is $11. Employee plus 1 is $137, and our family rate is $235 for 3 or more. Roughly, those deductibles range from $950, $800, all the way to $5,050, depending on the enhanced plan. The $950 deductible is specific to the basic plan. Your deductible is the amount of money that you have to pay out of pocket prior to Blue Cross helping you. Each plans have a co-insurance portion. In-network is at 80% after the deductible is met. 20% thereafter is what comes out of the employee's pocket to your maximum out of pocket within a given year. The enhanced plan has that $800 deductible and is our only copay option. The member has to pay either $40 or $55 if they're under the enhanced plan when they go see the physician. They work towards that $800 deductible, but 9 times out of 10, they're typically paying the copay. Our high deductible is our most expensive, costs the member the most under the deductible amount. It ranges from employee only being $2,500 to family coverage being a total of $5,050. Our prescription copays under those plans range from $15 for your generic, $45 for your preferred, $70 for your non-preferred, and 10% up to $150 for your high-end expensive medications. With regard to your high deductible health plan, members are offered a health savings account to which they can elect, which allows them to have pre-tax deductions if they have a high deductible health plan. We have 3 options under payroll, both through through Meritus Credit Union, First Horizon, and EBC, our new option through our voluntary benefit provider. With regard to our retired members, they have 2 plan options. They can either stay under our Blue Cross Blue Shield health plan, or they can elect, if they are Medicare eligible, 65 or older, they can elect the LPSS Humana Medicare Advantage plan. For our retirees who stay under our Blue Cross, 100% of the cost stays with the district. For our members who migrate to the Humana plan, that goes directly to Medicare. Our members under the Humana plan have to have A and B in order to migrate to that plan. It is a choice. Members have a choice of staying either with Blue Cross or migrating on to Humana. Members also have a choice too, if they're under that plan for a length of time and they want to transition back to the Blue Cross, they can move back from Humana back to Blue Cross at a given time of year. I'll spell out just a little bit of our Humana plan. We've been trying to educate members with regard to that new offering. The more you know, perhaps they want to try that plan option too, especially if they're Medicare eligible. It offers a lot of discounts. It costs, for premium purposes for the member, the retiree-only rate is 0. There's a 0 premium for that plan. Retiree plus 1 is $49, and our members who are double LPSS employees, meaning they both retire from the district, they have a 0 premium rate. The district's cost under that plan is $224 per member. Additional perks of being with Humana include silver sneakers, gym membership, care management. They also offer an option under Well-Dine, where when the member comes back home from the hospital, they can receive meals at their home. So it's got some perks. The more our members have been learning and being educated about it, some of our members have been transitioning from the Blue Cross plan to the Humana. We simply want to educate. It's their choice on making that transition. The other benefits I'd like to tell you about is the district paid life insurance. We are now, as of January 1st, with Voya. All members of the district, active members, have a $10,000 life insurance policy. It does reduce at age 65 to $7,500. At age 70, it reduces to a $5,000 policy. So every member, active member, has one. Our retirees also have that benefit. However, at the time of retirement, that benefit, no matter where they are, reduces automatically to a $5,000. The district also offers EAP services. Those are our free counseling services that are confidential. It's extended to our members and their family members living within their household. 6 free instances where they can seek counseling per concern. The district pays that district paid benefit for all of our members, our active members. And last but not least, voluntary benefits. This year, as of January 1st, we moved to AGM Hub for our new voluntary benefits administrator. These are benefits paid by the members directly. It comes out of their payroll. It's nothing district paid. The exception would be the district paid life insurance, which we do. It does come out of our Fund 85. But essentially, there's over 13 different benefit options that our members can pick and choose from and have those voluntary benefits deduct from their payroll. just try to give you an overview. Does anyone have any questions I can help answer? Yes, sir.
So what would be the negative impact of Humana on the retirees?
So the negative impact would be the funding, because the member pays a zero cost share if it's just retiree only. If it's retiree plus one, it's $49. However, the district, for that full cost of the premium, is $224. So it costs the district $224, costs the member zero, if we're just referring to employee only. But it does help in regards to OPEB. It helps with regard to your fixed costs. It removes those members from our Blue Cross plan, so claims and billing, medical and prescriptions are removed from our self-funded health plan and shifted to the Medicare Advantage plan directly with the government. So it's a funding issue initially. However, claims and billing are the larger piece of it. To include the OPEB liability, it gets removed from there as well. And that's a huge positive with members who move from Blue Cross to Humana.
Would their doctors, is there any issues with doctors with switching?
Any member, any physician that accepts your Medicare card will accept the LPSS Humana Medicare Advantage plan. They do need to bill on behalf of Humana. They have to agree to both pieces, but if they accept your Medicare, they'll accept the other. Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Buff, you identified the Humana plan as a new offering. Can you tell me how long it's been offered at Lafayette Parish School System?
It's been offered for a while, so I might have misspoken. Let me restate it. We've started educating members newly. We took it as an initiative in 2023 and just really wanted to educate everybody. A lot of times change, we can be apprehensive about change. I believe the more that we know about it, the more we can make an educated decision as to whether it's going to benefit us or not. For some of our members, they're not even interested in looking at the plan, and that's okay. For those members who at least want to learn more, that's what we've been trying to do. We provide educational sessions in the spring. We've got 3 on the calendar coming up. We did 2 last year, and we had a huge swing just by making members aware of what they have. A lot of times we got to thank you. When you don't really know and you're perhaps apprehensive about it, the more you know about it, then you feel more comfortable with your decision. We also make sure that anytime a member transitions, we have them connect with the Humana concierge. They cannot transition without it. We want them to check their physicians. We want them to check their drugs. We would hate for a member to be ill-affected by moving from the Blue Cross plan to the Humana plan, and the medication and the drugs would be affected. So it's we've been trying to educate members should be the better statement.
Well, thank you. I
Okay.
think the key is education, because, if you're being educated but with bad information, it's still education. It's just
Right.
bad information. So did you also mention that, let me ask you this. What did you say the retirees' portion of the Blue Cross plan was?
You say the retiree portion. Can you state
Premium.
it otherwise?
Premium.
Okay, I did not state that. The retiree portion for those members who have A and B is $96. They must be under the basic plan. I'll give you another example. If it's retiree plus one, it would be $215 if they were both Medicare eligible A and B.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one question, just for transparency and clarity. To be designated a retiree and have the zero employee portion, tell me how many years, how do they qualify?
So they're eligible for retirement based on the prospective pension system, so either TRSL or ELSERS. As long as they are defined as a retiree by the pension system, then they are a retiree of the district.
Do you have a typical, just so everyone can know how many years that is?
Some members could come to LPSS based on how long they've been with the district, and they might have been here for 5 years. And then they're eligible for retirement, and then they leave the district, and technically they're eligible to take any benefit that's on their payroll. Does that make sense? Some members may be here 20 plus years. Some members do come to the district, and it's a matter of 5 years based on their eligibility, based on TRSL and ELSERS determinations of what makes them eligible for pension through the retirement system. That's how we gauge them. If they are eligible for pension, based on that eligibility, then they are eligible for benefit continuation.
Okay.
So that answer can be broad.
Right. And that's pretty much standard all over the state?
It's how we do it here at the district. Yes, ma'am. There are other district locations that do it differently. They have vesting criteria.
Okay.
You might be thinking, let's use Office of Group Benefits as an example. They have 20 years minimum that you have to be under their group health insurance in order to keep the benefit and take it post-retirement.
Okay.
Does that
Thank
make
you.
sense?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
just curious if
Okay.
we vary from other areas.
We do. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Like, right now, I'm 59 years old and been retired since a couple of years. When am I eligible as a retiree to switch to the Humana?
You'd have to have Medicare A and B, so you have about 6 more years left. Age 65 is when you would be eligible. Now, keep in mind, A, typically you earn based on your work history. Medicare certifies that for you. Part B is an election. Currently, we do not require members to elect Part B right now. But if you have both A and B, essentially A you earned, B you're paying for, then yes, sir, you can switch at any time from the group health insurance Blue Cross plan to the Humana plan.
Okay, and you said you were going to have some informational session for in the
We
spring?
do, and I have it on my phone over there.
Okay.
I mentioned it the other night at the insurance committee meeting. We have one February and March, and then again in April. We're doing 3 this spring.
Do you have another question while we're still talking about that? Are all Humana plans alike?
No, ours is specific to us. We built it. And Lynn may know better than I do. I'd say at least 10 years, Lynn. Haven't we been under that plan? At least, so when we originally built it, it was specific, just like our Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. It's specific to LPSS. So it has a lot of perks and extras that a standard standard Humana plan doesn't have. And oftentimes that's where confusion occurs. Because
Yeah, you just go Google Humana plans and
Right.
you get bad information.
exactly.
Yeah.
So members may be, or physicians' offices may say, no, we don't accept that. But if they just pause for a second, and as long as they accept Medicare, they'll accept the LPSS Humana plan.
Members, any other questions? Mr. Touchette? You ready to move on? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move to item 2.3. Mr. Fontaine, welcome back.
All right, good afternoon, members of the board. You asked me to give you an overview of roles and responsibilities. Prepared to talk on other points with regard to the reporting and all of that, but we are your benefit consultants. We started this role years ago when you went out to bid, and we won that business and started serving you. And this is just a brief overview. Obviously, we look at your culture and your strategy and all of that and want to align the benefits to that. The benefits that you had at that time were your 3-tier benefits in your health plan. So we obviously have made some tweaks along the lines of those benefits over the years to control some cost and make sure that we're delivering the highest level of benefit. We get it that you are competing with other districts, which is kind of unique about us is we bring a lot of experience to the table. I've represented, Brooke and I, large school systems my entire career, and I've got 40 years into this. We assist you in those designs and coverages so they meet your objectives. Big area, obviously, administration and account management. a lot of that going on a day-to-day basis, obviously more so than just daily service and all of that. We got to make sure that Blue Cross is paying your claims timely, all your network discounts are there, maximizing all of this type of thing. If Blue Cross makes a misstep in the claims administration, we've got to get all of that corrected and taken care of. Every week, there's a claims run that's comes in. Today's was pretty healthy, to over $900,000. So we're providing that day-to-day administration and also negotiating those administrative fees with Blue Cross on a constant basis. Plan analysis, like I said, we're looking at claims from a weekly basis, providing reporting. If anything does look problematic and we can put a cost-saving strategy on that, we get to that type of work, but constantly reporting so we can make sure we all know where our plan stands. That analysis is more important now than ever. Comprehensive marketing, any piece of coverage or service that is coming due on contract, we go to the market, we negotiate those services or those contracts. That has saved millions of dollars to the system on that. Constant renegotiating on your pharmacy contract to look for all of the savings there. Communication, we always assist in any kind of communication handbooks. We've got call center if we've got to utilize that. Keeping you all intact from a compliance standpoint, make sure that that's been more and more so every year, especially post the Affordable Care Act, to keep you in compliance in all of your programs. And then, of course, to provide that day-to-day account management. So it's all aspects of your program. And that has all been around your health insurance for a long time. We were recently awarded your ancillary and worksite business and have worked through that implementation, improving all of those coverages from a benefit and premium standpoint, and providing that open enrollment timely and the education, all of those things, and wrapping that up at this particular point and working towards helping you out with this budget. Questions?
I do. I'll have a few questions, Mr. Fontaine. Could you address the Humana topic? I think has been a hot topic in Lafayette Parish for at least since 2015, because I was here in 2015. I still consider it to be a hot topic, and I mean that in a positive way. I'm asking you if you can maybe elaborate a little more on the difference between what Lafayette Parish has done with their Humana plan versus just what's out there on the market.
Okay. So first of all, to kind of pick up with some of the comments you asked, Trish, and all, your particular Medicare Advantage plan is different. You can walk into some doctor's offices and they might have a little sign that says, we don't take this or we don't take that. Sometimes it might be a Humana plan, okay? Many plans in Medicare Advantage are very, very low cost or are free, and they could have, the reason for that is maybe just an example, not always, but a restrictive network, meaning that you can only go to this set of doctors and hospitals, facilities for lab work, things like this. So a restrictive network usually results in lower premium, because the more you restrict the network, the deeper the discount you can negotiate with them. That has nothing to do with your plan. Your plan's designed to where your members, your retiree members eligible for Medicare, can go to any provider that accepts Medicare. So number one, you have the broadest list in your plan, even probably a little broader than the Blue Cross network, because Blue Cross's network is so vast and broad. But when you think about it, any doctor that accepts Medicare is the vast majority of providers out there. So choice of provider, or limited choice of provider, is taken away by that. And then when you compare it to the coverages that you currently provide, in your health plan right now, when that member is eligible for Medicare Part A and then purchases their B, that retiree's Medicare becomes primary for your health care costs, where the system's Blue Cross plan, and really gets the high claims from retirees, are going to be more on the prescription drug side. We moved that to the AgWIP plan years ago. It was a difficult move. It provided a lot of education, a lot of questions behind it, all of that type of thing, but it's also provided a ton of savings without that, without a big degree of disruption. People not getting the medications they need or anything like that. So that basically your Humana plan isn't really a downgrade in coverage or a downgrade in choice of provider or really a downgrade in covered medications for most folks. Many other systems, some systems have taken away choice, and because of the cost effectiveness of a Medicare Advantage plan and because of the comprehensiveness of a Medicare Advantage plan, that becomes the retiree's choice. Other systems have still left choice in there, whether you wanted to stay in the current plan or go to Humana. But I can tell you, for example, with the continued education that you're doing right now, and we at Terrebonne, we did this, and we had a lot of education at the committee level, because those folks are out talking to their constituents and things like that, and if you can't please them, you're going to have a hard time pleasing the masses. But in that situation, when we really looked at it, for probably 85–90% of the folks, here's the things you want to check out. Am I losing any benefit? No. Am I losing my doctor or hospital? No. Am I having any disruption in my prescription drugs? No. I'm going from paying X to 0. This sounds like a good deal. And the skepticism of change was there in the beginning, but once the committee really saw that it was a good deal for the retirees, they got behind it, and in that situation, some 85–90% of the retirees chose to move to the Medicare Advantage plan. That was the example in Terrebonne. Worked similar in Ascension, and St. Tammany took on a more, they didn't have much choice there. They were given that now. And all three of those districts, you could not take that plan away from those retirees under gunpoint. They were very, very pleased with it, very pleased with it. Why? It's the same, if not better benefits, not a loss of a provider from a network standpoint, not a loss of a covered prescription drug from a formulary standpoint, but you have all of the value-added benefits of a Medicare Advantage plan. Free gym memberships, a lot of things around wellness and nutrition, a lot of discounts, help with hearing aids, help with some dental procedures, things like that. So there's a lot of value-added benefit to those types of contracts that your retired members really enjoy.
Can I ask you a tough question?
Mm-hmm.
So your main objective is to, first of all, you're among the best at what you guys do, and so your job is to make recommendations to the Lafayette Parish School System to have a healthy insurance plan, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're making recommendations to Lafayette Parish, or any parish for that matter, do you take into consideration what anyone's desires are, or do you simply do your work, go out to the market, and make recommendations that are best for the plan, regardless of what my personal desire might be, or even Mr. Touchette's?
I've always taken to the approach to tell you what's available to you. give you the pros and cons of each, okay? And I also want to get as learned as I can on your culture and then know who we have to educate so that all can make the proper decision. You guys have committees and boards, and you're going to have individuals in those committees and boards that are going to have their own issues for their constituents, issues on an individual basis. But, you know, with proper education and showing the pros and cons of each of these things, recommendations are not hard to come by if you've got the facts in front of you.
How often would you say, in your tenure here with Lafayette Parish, over the years you've been a consultant, how often would you say the Lafayette Parish School Board implements your recommendations?
I can't think of a time when they haven't.
Thank you.
I also wanted to, I know this would be beneficial for each and every one of you, and I wanted to give you this because it's not much additional work, but it's certainly going to be instrumental in some of the decisions that you have to make coming up. This is some benchmarking that's going to show you the benefits and premium rates of some of your peer groups around school systems. So when you're thinking about these benefits and you're thinking about how you compare to other school districts, you know, I know the tough job out there is to attract and retain talent right now. I know all school districts are clamoring for more teachers. So this gives you a good idea when you look across. The main thing that you always want to compare to is the Office of Group Benefits, but at the same time, it gives you some of the neighboring systems throughout the state and where they are in their benefit structure and where they are in their contributions. At the same time, you might ask, you know, are we right in offering 3 plans? Are we right in offering the benefit levels that we are? Are we within market in our offering of our contributions to our employees? And I think you're going to see you're at the top of the scale here, folks. You're very generous from your contributions. You know, you've got a high deductible plan that is $11 monthly cost to you folks. You know, that's one heck of a benefit. You know? And all 3 plans. So just want to give you that information because it gives you good food for thought when you faced with some decisions. Other questions?
Is there anything that you would want to highlight about Lafayette Parish compared to Terrebonne or any of the ones that you have listed out here? What stands out? I'm just trying to highlight.
Stands out a high deductible health plan at $11. The low out-of-pocket and low deductible on your enhanced plan. I think you're competitive in contributions when you compare that particular benefit. Let's say your basic, because you've got the majority of your people, that's what I would kind of center on when I'm looking at the other folks and look at the plan that might be the closest. And when you look down at the contributions, I think you're going to see that you're very favorable on both parts. You're ahead of most from a benefit standpoint, and you're ahead of almost all of them from a contribution standpoint. We've shared this type of documentation too with the committee previously. We just had it updated because most of these folks have just updated their information with their January 1 open enrollment. So this is fresh.
Thank you, Mr. Fontaine. We appreciate you being here. As well, Ms. LaBeouf, thank you. I think the purpose of today's meeting was to have a first meeting, get myself reacclimated with everything, and certainly give an opportunity for Mr. Lejeune to get some feedback. And we know Ms. Mason is kind of been up to date with this over the years. So thank you for your time. Superintendent, do you have anything you'd like to add before we adjourn?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you all for being here. Meeting is adjourned.